Hey everybody, this is G-Man. Today we're going to take a look at what I call my misadventures in skydiving. Now this occurred in 2014. Give you a little bit of background. I had this crazy idea, I think it was probably from watching the movie with Morgan Freeman, I think it was Jack Nicholson, to go skydiving. Bucket list idea. Everybody's doing it, saw this movie, yeah, it's going to be great. Hey, get this thrill, get this rush. I can do this. Fountain of views, right? So Mimi got me a gift certificate. Yes, a gift certificate for skydiving. Now, this could be used anywhere in the United States, so we held on to it for a while and got it for Christmas. And that summer, we were going to South Carolina to visit my daughter, Serena. And we're like, hey, let's just kill two birds with one stone. So we got on the internet and started looking places up and called a few places and found a place in South Carolina and booked it. Great. So went to see Serena. Then the next day we put the address in our Google Maps and found it and went skydiving. Thought it was going to be great. Now we got there. They do about an hour and a half of training. Basically, it's just a real quick, disclaimer really saying, hey, you're going to jump out of an airplane. We're going to keep you safe, but just know that there are risks. So I wasn't too worried about it. I knew what I was getting into. Knew I was going to be strapped to somebody else and knew what they were doing. So I knew I wasn't too worried about it. And I saw people jumping out and I knew what I was getting into. What really scared me though was the airplane itself. I was thinking that, hey, we got some huge airplane like they use in the military. Of course, I've seen videos in the military where they use like this strap they hang on to, they clip it and then they jump out. I thought it was going to be something like that. But when I got there, the airplane looked to be no bigger than looked about like a crop duster, to make a long story short. Not a lot of room in it, and it was just really scary. And I'll kind of narrate as we go through the video, but I actually uploaded this video to Facebook when the skydiving first occurred, after it finished, because I did pay extra for the video, so they gave me this great video that you're going to watch, and they make it look really cool. It's just mine didn't probably turn out really cool, but I uploaded the video and I had to edit it. I only showed about 30 seconds on video because I didn't want to actually show how embarrassing it is. So this is going to be the first time ever that I've actually shown this entire video really to anybody, and you can kind of get a feel why as we go through it. But with that being said, let's get started. Once again, this was in South Carolina, and this is basically the video they provided to me. So we'll stop along the way and I'll kind of provide some comments, but we'll go ahead and get started. July 13th, 2014. Alright, so you can see the instructor there. He's trying to get me pumped up, which most people are really pumped up because they're fixing to jump out of an airplane. But as you can see, my reaction, I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. But getting back to this plane and how small it was, you can see the pilot right there. But notice how close I am to the door. And this is what really concerned me. This is door here, which they're going to open up, we're going to jump out of. You can see I got my cursor on it. It looked like it was just fabricated. It looked like it was fabricated, kind of like a makeshift garage door that somebody fabricates. And it just didn't look like it wasn't what I had in mind, to make a long story short. And look how close I am to it. And the guy that I'm going to be strapped to is probably about 3 feet away from me. But needless to say, I'm doing my best there. And he's like, hey, are you good? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, he's trying to build it up there. That's what I'm talking about. But trust me, I was totally not feeling it. Even though, as you can see, we hadn't even left the ground yet. So we'll start to take off. Honestly, I don't even think I'm looking out the window at this point. I'm looking straight ahead. I don't want to look out. I know I'm going to have to look down at some point, but just look how close we are together there. That's how small that airplane literally is. I'm trying my best to look excited. There we go. I don't know what he's doing there. I think he's just really just trying to show the altitude. I'm not real sure. But yeah, we're going up in the clouds. So yeah, most people, he probably asks that to everybody that goes up there. Have you got any last words for the camera? And I'm sure they're like, yeah. Me, I'm like, just make sure you got me strapped in good. That's all I'm saying. So, and which was very uncomfortable, by the way, because you can see, like I said, it's a very compact airplane, and I did have to strap up to him. And then when you're going tandem style, basically, they might as well call it doggy style, because that's what you're doing. And which is not a problem. I knew that was going to happen. The thing is, there's not a whole lot of room there. I'm not strapped up here to him yet. So at some point, I had to turn around and get strapped up to him. Like I said, doggy style. And there was basically hardly any room in this airplane to do this. But at that point, I didn't care. I just wanted to make sure I was strapped up because, like I said, looking at this little makeshift door here that they made, I knew that I was going to have to go out it very soon, and there was really no turning back. But honestly, looking back, I wouldn't have been ashamed. I wish I just said, hey, turn back, because like I said, this was not a fun experience for me at all. Try my best though. You see that smile? There's nothing. There's no substance to that at all.
Definitely, man. All right, sit back, relax, and stay outside.
Now, at this point, we're just kind of sitting there at the, and I realize that look on my face there, I'm just scared to death. I'm ready to go. But at this point, we're sitting on the edge there, and let me tell you, that's one of the scariest feelings in the world. All right, now you can see, I don't know if you caught a glimpse of that, but you're going to see it even worse here in a minute. He tapped me on the shoulder, because one thing in the 90-minute training that they go over before you do this, they teach you what you're supposed to do when you actually jump out. And basically you're supposed to arch. The reason is because if not, you're basically just, well, obviously you're falling like dead weight anyway, but it makes it a little bit easier if you're arching, especially since this guy's strapped to you. He's basically got to control it. But without being arched, you're just like dead weight and you're pulling him down too. It's a little bit harder for him to control. So he begins to tap me on the shoulder, and you'll see in a minute that he's going to start hitting me harder because I'm not helping him out much there at all. Now you see there, he literally pulls my head up because honestly at this point I've lost it. I'm pretty much out of it. It's a good thing that this was a tandem jump, because had I jumped out by myself, I would have been a goner. At no point in my life have I ever just been totally out of it, but at this point I was just like, my mind was gone. I didn't realize what in the world was going on. So basically he's pretty much having to not just guide me through it, but basically make sure I'm safe at this point, beyond the normal measures as well. So you're gonna see him. He, like I said, he pulls my head up to make sure we got that arch, and I'm still not in good position. So you'll see him just kind of tapping on this. There you go. A little bit harder here in a minute. But basically, what he's telling me there is, he's still tapping me because, like I said, they want to have this arch. And usually, from most of the skydiving videos I've seen, and that you might have seen as well, usually they got their arms spread out. You got this nice arch, just kind of like a bird. But me, like I said, I'm just totally out of it. And I didn't even realize what was going on. So I do at some point try to spread my arms out, but he decides that's not working as well either. And basically, he just kind of makes me hold him in front of me and holds my head up just to make sure that we're good. So this is the part that I really didn't want to show when I shared my 30-second video, because I described this to people. It's almost like a vacuum. Because you're dropping out of an airplane, hundreds of feet. I don't even remember how high we were, but obviously you can see we are up in the clouds there. So, but it's just almost like a vacuum. I felt like a cartoon character because my face is just being sucked. You could see, I think it was maybe Droopy Dog, the old cartoon character. That's what I felt like at this point. But at the same time, trust me, I was not concerned about what I looked like. I was concerned about getting down safely and hoping this would end soon. But yes, you can see my cheeks there, and like I said, I did not share this initially because I wanted my video to look, hey, I went skydiving. But, you know, like I said, this was not the case for me. It was more like, I went skydiving, I'll never do that again. Now, just look at my cheeks there. Like I said, I felt like a droopy dog. Now, the instructor, like I said, this is a video, so Joe, you did a great job. I'm sure he probably recalls this as one of his worst experiences with a skydiver. Somewhere along here, he's asking me, hey, because we're getting a little bit closer to the ground, he's like, hey, you want to do some more twirls? I'm like, no, that's okay, I'm good. Because, like I said, Joe, he was a great instructor, and I'd watched him do several people before me, and they had a great time, did some real fancy twirls. That's what people want to do. Myself, I just wanted to get on land as soon as possible.
That was awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah. Hey.
So he asked me, what'd you think of that? And I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, like with a whole lot of enthusiasm, as you could tell, which most people, you know, and I saw older people skydive before me, and, you know, it was such a high for them, you know, and I'm sure they had a lot of enthusiasm. Myself, I'm like, yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, I just totally was not feeling it. I wish I showed a little bit more enthusiasm that I was actually there on the ground at that point, because that's why I was really happy. I was happy that it was over with.
Good job, man. Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome to skydiving.
Yeah, and like you can see, not much of an energetic high five there as well. Of course, you know, this is their promotional video, so they do have a you know, a plug in here as well, obviously. But, you know, not discouraging from the place. The place was great. You know, I mean, you know, it's what they do. It just turned out that what they do was not exactly for me. Once again, like I said, you know, this video, I imagine Joe, the instructor, he probably recalls this, is, you know, because he does several. Obviously, that's what he does for a living. Great at it, but he probably recalls this as well as one of his memorable tandem jumps, because it's like, yeah, that one just didn't go well. Didn't go well for me. Nothing wrong with skydiving. You know, I don't discourage anybody from doing it that wants to do it. But, you know, if you think it's something you just need to do for your bucket list, fill your bucket up with something else, because, like I said, jumping out of an airplane, I see no reason to do it. I don't know why I did it, but was happy to share that. If it's something you think you may want to do some research and maybe think about it. Do you need to really jump out of an airplane? Looking back, not me.